Hello everyone, welcome once again to Lang Park. It's round 11 today, the clash between the Brisbane Broncos and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. We'll have to say it again, it is a crunch game for the Brisbane side today. They are without their State of Origin stars, so it's a great opportunity though for some of those young blokes to strut their stuff here at Lang Park today. Let's have a look at the Broncos lineup. Here's David Ford.
Thanks, Phil. And with 8 of those Broncos unavailable because of Origin duty here on Wednesday night, today they can still boast, though, 9 players with previous Origin experience, and 4 of those have played Test match football as well. The 2 players, Julian O'Neill and John Platt, will make their Winfield Cup debuts. Don't be surprised if Platt and Madison alternate between half and 5/8 throughout the match. Steve Renoff will play despite struggling with the virus all week, and Joe Kilroy caps off a remarkable comeback, playing in only his first match in the top grade since the last game of the 1989 season. He's 14 kilos heavier, but Bill says he's lost none of that old pace.
Well, he's a very popular player, and I'm sure the Lang Park crowd here will give him a great reception today. Here's the Canterbury lineup now. David Wright.
Thanks, Billy. And the importance of possession in the match is emphasised by Canterbury's for and against record. The Bulldogs have the 4th best attack record, but it's offset by the 4th worst defensive record in the competition to date. They're going pretty well, though, in 91 when you consider the off-season defections. Farah, Alshan, Dunn, Langmack, Gillespie and Thomas. It has afforded, though, second-year coach Chris Anderson the opportunity to combine some talented youngsters with some handy purchases. None better than Jonathan Davis, the brilliant Welshman at fullback, Maven and Nissan on the wings, Pat Moore in the centres. He's partnered today by Jared McCracken, who's obtained a clearance from the New Zealand Rugby League. The halves are Lamb and McGrady, and in the forwards, Gillis, Tronk, Maguire, Pay, Peach and Brokenshire.
Okay, a beautiful day here in Brisbane City for this one today after some pretty wet weather the last few days, but things are absolutely spot on out here today, and the referee waiting to get things underway is Eddie Ward, and he's had a few Broncos matches as of late.
He has, Bill, and Eddie Ward always plays things right down the middle, so he'll be out to see a nice open game today, both sides capable of some brilliant attack.
All right, just talking about how do you see it, David?
Well, I think Brisbane are capable of coming up with a win, but as I said in the opener, possession very important. Both sides are good with the ball, and I think if you can dominate possession, you'll dominate the game.
All right, it's the Broncos in possession, just inside their own quarter, and taking it up over there is Gavin Allen. He's a welcome addition to the side today. Bit unlucky, I thought, to miss out on State of Origin.
Yes, and he's been injured in that tackle. It's a heavy one. Eddie Ward will come in now. The tackle's well and truly affected, so there'll be a restart. A head knock there. He'll be wishing that he was sitting in the crowd. Hit heavily in the tackle.
Here it is.
Yes, Bill, the big driving tackle there. Gavin Allen going backwards over the top of the tackle. Now, obviously, that caused the problem. His head actually hitting the ground, but he's had the very best of attention there. And the doctor, the Broncos doctor, right beside him, and they've been very, very careful to ensure to immobilise the neck. He had full movement in his arms and legs, so obviously precaution right to the fore. And he has been replaced there by big Andrew Testman, who was a fresh reserve.
So we're just waiting for Gavin Allen to clear the line over there. And play does resume now. So it's the Broncos in possession, Dowling taking it up. He'll be put to ground about 25 metres out from the Broncos line. So for these players out there, David, that was, what, something like 5 or 6 minutes?
Very off-putting, Bill. You could see both sides initially show concern for Gavin Allen. Then they tried to get their own wits about them by moving away while the medical staff attended to him. But not only mentally can that be off-putting, but also physically players normally tuned to come out right at that moment and get into it. There's a chance for cooling off a little bit. And players did a little bit of stretching in that delay as well.
So that's McCracken playing it now, about 30 metres out from the Canterbury line. No points on the board as yet. 1.5 minutes of the match has gone by. So as we said at the start of this game, a lot at rest here for some of these young fellas. A kick downfield there by McGrady.
Especially this young fellow, Bill, Julian O'Neill, ex-Australian schoolboy, big raps on him, and to put him straight at fullback, there's no more pressure than the number 1.
And other matches here today in the under-21s President Cup. It was a win there for Canterbury, 32 points to 20 after the Broncos led 12-6 at half-time. And in the reserve grade, the Broncos came away with a win there, 32 points to 24, which I would imagine, David, would go down as quite a confidence booster for the A-grade side here today.
Yes, that reserve grade side has not been in sensational form over the last month or so, but they're just starting to get it back together again. A couple of wins back-to-back, very important.
So that's Madison getting it outside. Gilmeister's going to be wrapped up.
Madison down injured. Slow to his feet.
Very slow back onto his feet. Back to Conway. Oh, that's a bad kick this time. on the final tackle. The ball's allowed to bounce, comes back to Kieran Walters. He puts a little kick downfield. And Canterbury in possession about 30 metres out from their own line. So down there on the touchline, let's say good afternoon for the first time to Tony Durkin. How are you, Durko?
Well, thanks, Bill, and magnificent conditions here at Lang Park, and how good Lang Park is as a wet weather ground now that drainage work has been done. But as we've been saying, the Broncos without 8 of their State of Origin stars, one of them with me now, Willie Carner. Willie, it's been a great mid-season for you after being dropped earlier on.
Yeah, it's good to come back from a bit of a disappointment, and now we just got to carry on from here, I think, and hope the boys can get up today.
Willie, good feeling in the State of Origin camp despite the fact that Graham Lowe's not with you?
Oh, no, yeah, we talked to Graham on, I think it was on Friday over the phone, and I think he's got his word across the wally to tell us what to do, and we'll be looking forward to seeing him on Monday.
Mate, you're pretty confident about the boys today as they go on the charge. Back to you, Bill.
Yeah, that's Renoff coming up to the quarter line. Got the pass from Plowman. He was trying to get away to Joey Kilroy, but it put to the ground right on the quarter line. So we'll just take it from here, get back to you in a moment. Madison getting it outside to Conway, then away to Johnny Platt. Platt trying to break his way through, but it's going to be wrapped up in the tackle of Gillies. Just inside the quarter line. O'Neill comes up as dummy half. And they keep it going. This is Tessman. Looking around for support, but no one at home. This is the final tackle now. So from the play, the ball back to Madison. He's going to run it out. No, now there's the little kick. Bounces off a Canterbury player. It is going to be a Canterbury ball. Back now with Tony Durkin.
Yeah, Willie, you were saying earlier off air that you're pretty confident about the boys today.
Yeah, I think a lot of the fellas are playing in reserve grade all year. We're looking forward to put on a big show, and I reckon that they can probably come home with about 14-point win.
On you, mate. Well, let's hope you're right. All the best for Wednesday night.
Thanks, Tony.
Willie Kahn, who is in great form at the moment, and he's hit his form at the right time.
On the verge of green and gold, Bill. I think just one good match in State of Origin 3, I think will assure him of his debut for Australia.
So now it's Canterbury in possession. No points on the board at the moment here at Lang Park. Kick downfield. Julian O'Neill has had a bit of work to do, but he can't get to this one. It finds touch about midway between the quarter and halfway down in Broncos territory.
David, it appears that Julian O'Neill might have taken a heavy knock when he was taken in that tackle. He seems a bit sluggish on his feet out there.
Yes, I think the second time he ran the ball up, he stepped and went at the defence. Here's Plowman again, busting them.
Straight over the top of Terry Lamb, and to the applause of the big crowd here at Lang Park, takes it up to halfway. Now Tony Curry, away for Platt. He was wrapped up well and truly by Patmore. The Broncos just inside the attacking half. Walters out of dummy half. Unloaded the ball to Conway. And Conway obviously the first choice of the kicker in general play in this match here at Lang Park today. Now Madison, playing in the 5/8 role today. The last time he did that, David, was back in the first season against Canberra when they got their biggest home loss here, 36 points to 16.
He'll have no trouble fulfilling that role, Fordo, I don't think, because he's a busy player. He's a bit of a link man, and it would seem that he's playing mainly first off the ruck in general play as well, with Johnny Platt playing a little bit wider.
Well, this is a big test for Jonathan Davis, but he took it magnificently. Platt arrived to wrap him up, but he handled the pressure well.
Great tack there by Jonathan Davis, and Johnny Platt, who'd been onside, came through to make a good tackle.
So Canterbury pegged down inside their own quarter line. Peaks out of dummy half, taken solidly by Gilmeister. As Tony and Billy mentioned, ideal conditions for rugby league here today. That's a poor pass, particularly at this end of the ground, and Patmore did well to wrap it up. So it's the final tackle for the Bulldogs. McGrady with the kick downfield. The pressure was put on by Johnny Platt. The ball will find touch. Now, did that come off John Platt? Wait for the touch, judge. No, the ball into touch. No, it's been touched.
Eddie Ward has signalled touched, so he's going to give the feed to Canterbury Bankstown. That's surprising. Of course, that is Eddie Ward's decision. Of course, the kick taken from midfield. Great chance for the Bulldogs.
Now, McGrady. And Lamb and McGrady appear to have swapped that role as well. Lamb fed the scrums. McGrady was standing in the 5/8 role. Now Scotty Tronk playing against his old club.
Not the first time he has played against the Broncos. He was with West in the very first season. The Broncos were in the Sydney Winfield Cup and had a great game against Brisbane that day.
5 games last year with the Broncos. Scotty Tronk on the blind side is the danger man McGrady. He's a tremendous footballer. He beats O'Neill and he scores the try. It's a great start to Canterbury Bankstown. You can't take your eyes off him. He scored 12 tries in 16 games last year. He scored 5 tries so far in 1991, and he struck a telling blow here against the Broncos.
Brilliant effort by McGrady as he flashed down the blind side. Testman couldn't get near him, neither could Renouf. Look at the confidence in his own pace. Julian O'Neill was stood up and then just reaches out to score a good try. Let's see how he does it as he comes across the back of the ruck. Testman had to move up there. Renouf was in a bit of trouble because he had a few players outside. And then the acceleration, he goes away from fullback and then reaches out, just manages to keep himself up. Eddie Ward on the spot to award the try. That's a fine effort by Ewan McGrady.
Yeah, he's a very capable player, this fellow. Look at him, slips through the gap, and it was danger, 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 and no chance of holding him out. Went close to touching just prior to that line, but he was able to scramble over in the tackle of Joey Kilroy, and that's the first points on the board here for Canterbury.
And Jonathan Davis, he's been a great acquisition. He's kicked 10 from 13 so far in his first 2 games for the Bulldogs. And this one 5 metres in from touch. In front of the McCaller stand. Oh, it's not a good one. It's under the crossbar. But Canterbury lead by 4 points to 0. And about 9 minutes of play gone in this first half. In the opening 9 minutes of this match, no penalties so far. 8 kicks in general play. And Canterbury have struck the first blow. And the interesting aspect about that, Bill, I think the first time they were in the attacking half and they came up with the points.
Yes, they've got a nice start here after just 10 minutes of play. They lead by 4 points to 0. Taking it up over there is Brokenshire. He'll be put over about 30 metres out from the Canterbury line now. See what they can do.
Brokenshire is down injured.
Yes, he's down on one knee there. Here's a kick downfield by McGrady. O'Neill going back. But it's going to be into touch again. Got away from Plowman over there. And a couple of good kicks there from McGrady.
Yes, early in the piece, Canterbury quite happy to kick downfield for Julian O'Neill to run it back, but now angling more for touch.
Well, the Broncos, David, were punished by that good marker defence. Path got out to try and charge that kick out earlier. Touched it in flight. They got the feed and scored the try.
Yes, and Canterbury, a side that really benefit from that sort of roll on. Brisbane are the same, and as we say, possession will be so vital in this match. Also, the big men are going to play a part. You've got Dowling and Testman out there now. Brisbane, if anything, lack a little bit of size without those two on the field. I want to utilise them, though, because a couple of times they've tried to wrap the ball strongly, and Kieran Walters has elected to leave them as dummy runners. Well, they'll soon get sick of that.
That's Walters going away from the dummy half spot.
Lost it.
He has lost it.
And got it back, though, Bill, I think.
He sure has. Referee Eddie Ward was up there to have a good look at it. This is Gene Miles. A lot depending on Miles here today. Need a big one from him with a great second half against Cronulla last week. And he finally got the penalty. Worked hard on it.
Yes, he stumbled and fumbled around there for quite some time. Eventually, Eddie Ward's patience was at an end. Chance for Bob Conway for 2.
This afternoon. Here's the kick now. It is on its way. It's going to be waved away, though. Way to the left-hand side of the upright. So the score remains Canterbury leading by 4 points to 0. So the drop out here from the quarter line. Back to Joey Kilroy. And a big roar from the crowd as Kilroy takes it. He sets up to the halfway mark. And eventually put down up there on the tackle, coming about from Canterbury. Well, the match really hasn't got going at this stage.
It was a bit flat, Bill, and I think cannot be underestimated the effect of Gavin Allen departing the scene in the first minute. But now the players just starting to warm to it, as is the crowd.
That's Madison. Put over 30 metres out now from the Canterbury line. Canterbury lead by 4 points to 0. Conway right over the top. Taken out there by Tony Curry. Gets it away this time to O'Neill. O'Neill trying to bustle his way through, but it's going to be wrapped up over there by Gillies, getting eventually underneath him.
Confident start for the young fellow, Bill, isn't it?
Lost the ball in the tackle, right?
His endeavour to get to his feet quickly. There was plenty of attention being given to him. Lamb had done well to get across and cover the fence there. And then Julian O'Neill just simply losing the ball.
Lamb with his hands up. I had nothing to do with it. So it's Canterbury in possession now, 25 metres out from their own line. Just waiting Tony Durkin checking for us to see about Gavin Allen. He left the field after only 50 seconds of play here today. So now it's Canterbury looking a little bit draggled at the moment. Gillies with it. Good defence there. Getting up is Dowling. So back to McGrady, who puts the boot underneath it. He's the danger man who scored the opening try, and another good kick for touch.
Very good kick. He had a bit of pressure on him too. A couple of players charging through at him because we've seen what he can do when he runs the football. There's Renoff and Walters trying to get to him. This time finds touch on the left-hand side.
So now we'll have the scrum packing down, 30 metres out from the Broncos line. Johnny Platt to feed. Referee Eddie Ward wants it in again. The front row hasn't packed down properly. Now they go. Platt gets it away to Kilroy coming across from that wing. He straightens it up, but runs into plenty of defence. Knocked back there by Gillies.
Noticeable now, Bill, a lot of sides like to have a big man stand one off the scrum, and McCracken playing in the centres, but still stood in the standoff position, because that's normally where your tackle's made off the scrum. There he is there. He's a big lad. Will make his debut for New Zealand this week, and he's got a special release by the New Zealand Rugby League to be available today.
Platt getting up to play at about 10 metres short of that halfway mark.
Now it's back with Conway with the long spiral punt downfield. Maven is retreating inside his own quarter line, and he'll bring it back beyond that. Well, a lot of anxious people are here waiting for a report on the injury to Gavin Allen. Tony, what is the latest?
Well, it's encouraging news, David, from the Broncos dressing room. Dr. Peter Frist, the Broncos doctor, has just told me that Gavin Allen is on his way to hospital for checks on the neck. The injury is obviously to the neck, but he said all the signs are encouraging. He's got movement everywhere, and at this stage anyway, it does not appear as though any serious injury has been done to Gavin Allen. So that's wonderful news.
Yeah, that's great news, and we wish him a speedy recovery. He's a vital man in this Broncos side. Kerrod Walters, the penalty.
Penalty for Ewan McGrady. They're going to keep a close eye on him, but you must tackle a man when he's got the football. McGrady did well to go just in front of the defensive line before he puts the kick in. Now have a look at this. Couple of paces, that was important. That committed a couple of defenders. Eddie Ward decided it was tackled without the ball. And a penalty here going to Canterbury Bankstown. Another chance for them to go on the attack.
Jonathan Davis will look for touch on this commentary side of Lang Park. He's mentioning about the vital member Allen is to the side. He's played 23 first-grade games, David, since he came to the side last year. 19 wins.
Not a bad win-loss.
Now Lamb bringing Nissen in from the left-hand touchline, steadying on the first tackle. Woody Pete's in a dummy half. Lamb, the playmaker, giving it away to Brokenshire. The big man takes on and commits two Broncos defenders in Madison and Miles. Now taking it upfield is Dean Pay. He slipped the pass out the back door. So the Broncos defence being tested. They trail by 4-0. Pete's bringing it open side. It wasn't a good pass. They move it. Pass upfield, Maguire back to Lamb. Lamb got to his feet and scores the try.
That's a great try by Canterbury Bankstown. I'll tell you why, because they had three rucks into midfield, and then even though the fourth ruck play was meant to come open, the ball did bounce on the ground. Now have a look at it here, but they had pushed Brisbane into the far side. The gaps were here. Lamb tries to put Maguire away, puts him into a half gap. Back to Lamb again. The tackle was a good one by Gilmeister, but not held. Up goes Terry Lamb, quite entitled to do it. Joey Kilroy runs out of space. Terry Lamb, the try-scoring merchant, comes up with the points. Good pick up, that one from midfield. Lamb, now watch him try and put Maguire in and under the, right across the try line, but Renoff does well just to hold him out. Gilmeister needed to hang on for dear life there, but couldn't. Lamb back to his feet, that's okay. Joey Kilroy just hasn't got the room to work in. Terry Lamb has. That's a good Canterbury try.
What a valuable player he's been over the last 10 or 11 years. Now Davis from the sideline. He struck it better, but it won't sneak inside this near upright. But the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs lead the Broncos here at Lang Park by 8-0.
There's another change in the Canterbury lineup. Tony Durkin.
Yeah, the former Brisbane East back rower Darren Smith on Billy for Canterbury. He's on for Mark Brokenshire.
So that's Joey Kilroy taking it up to about a metre short of the halfway mark. He's been hurt in the tackle.
And we did run into Kyle White.
Yes, and that is not recommended. Kyle White, a very, very physical player. Darren Smith on the field is also a very talented player and must have been on the verge of State of Origin selection. Gary Larson got the nod for the first one, and he hasn't looked back.
So that's Tessman with it now. Kerrod Walters away from dummy half, gets it away to Gilmeister.
Forward pass. Brisbane really just aren't combining well at all, Bill. They're making silly errors. Gilmeister frustrated. There's the pass up, definitely forward. Canterbury with a chance. McGrady standing at 5'8".
So in by Lamb. Over to McGrady. Davis. Trying to get up there, but O'Neill is right on him. And wraps him up well. So Canterbury have that lead of 8 points to 0 at the moment here at Lang Park. Getting it underneath on that occasion was Terry Madison. Taking the crossover is Kyle White. Only half Peats. Well, he is there somewhere. Now it's going to be another penalty to Canterbury.
Kerrod Walters here caught at the base of the ruck. He must clear that ruck area. Kerrod Walters there had affected the tackle, and he tries to roll away. He's capped by the hooker in Geordie Peats.
I think he was con too.
Well,
By Peats.
Yeah, the onus is on the tackler to clear that ruck area, and Brisbane often get penalised for it.
So here's Canterbury about to go on the attack again.
Just saw there, Bill, a new application of the rules in play now, where the referee stands on the tap mark now, on the penalty mark, and the touch judge momentarily dashes back on the defensive line, the 10 metres. I really can't understand what's so significant about that. They're going to do it. Why don't they do it the whole time when the 5 metres is under threat?
So now it's Smith there with the ball for Canterbury. Peats back over to Lamb. They keep it going, and nice work too. Cutting his way through over there is White.
Oh, off the ground. That's foolish.
And Terry Lamb is furious with him.
Well, young fellow, he's come on as a fresh reserve and just hasn't quite got the pace of the game at the moment. And endeavouring to offload. Well and truly, the tackle had been affected, and Brisbane get a breather. They've given Canterbury plenty of chances, and they've got one back.
So they'll take the tap, 20 metres short of the halfway mark.
Well, that touchdown to the far side went back to the 10 to check on it, David, and they moved about 5 yards up in front of it.
Well, I think it's just ludicrous, Fordo. The emphasis shouldn't be there at all. They also do it at scrums now too, but it really should be all the time.
So now it's Gene Miles trying to find a way through, but he's going to be wrapped up just on the halfway mark.
No different.
Now
No different.
Penalty hit of the Broncos. Conroy will kick for touch.
Simon Gillies caught exactly the same way. Plaffy has been watching the opposition very closely. He's a quick learner. A trip over this fellow, get a penalty, and he was right.
So the kick is going to find touch. 20 metres inside Canterbury territory. Now Canterbury lead by 8 points to 0. Let's see what they can do from here. Gilmeister. Going half waiting for it is Walters. Hone. Try to get the pass away, knocked down. It's going to be a Canterbury ball. Peats will end up with it. So a chance for the Broncos gone bigging again.
Yeah, no time to start panicking. 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Peats waits there as dummy half. 25 metres out from the Canterbury line. Over there to White. Rather, it was Darren Smith on that occasion. Scott Tronk. Still about 25 metres out from the Canterbury line. Picked up by McGrady. Newson. Final tackle. Davis. He'll swing it out of McGrady. Back it goes the other way. This time it is Davis. Big kick downfield. O'Neill is back there. Took it very calmly. Decides to run it out now. But it's going to be put to the ground on the tackle over there by Peats. So just under 5 minutes remaining, and Canterbury's lead is 8 points to 0.
And they certainly have dominated territory in this first half, the Bulldogs. And now a chance for Brisbane to try and work it across the halfway line. 8 times they've kicked in general play, the Broncos, but it hasn't been effective kicking in general play. They've been under pressure all the time. Here's a good ball for Gilmeister. Back this time. O'Neill was backing up. Curry was the man that took the tackle. Now it goes to Madison, turning it back in field. Could have easily been ruled forward to that run as well. Now Conway to the quarter line, centre field. It's on the final tackle. What will the tactics be? It'll go to Miles, pops it back in again. Kerrod Walters popped it away. It's a Canterbury ball.
Brisbane elected to run the blind side on the 5th tackle. There was opportunities here, but they turned it back on the inside, surprisingly. Ultimately, Kieran Walters got in behind the defensive line, had to try a desperate over-the-head pass. And once again, Canterbury just cling on.
Now McCracken, good solid defence. Tony Curry, a trademark of his game. There's an error that Brisbane are looking for.
On both ways, I think.
But it will be loose head and feed to the Broncos.
3.5 minutes to go up to half-time. Brisbane will not get a better chance than this one. There's a little knock-on at the dummy half by Maven.
I just wonder whether Miles will think about exploiting that blind side. He's got a good position to attack down that blind. If they can get the ball, well, he's picked the ball up from the back and attacked on the open.
Got it half right, Fordo, anyway.
Now, Miles over the quarter line and the penalty. Well, again, he'll be forced to take the 2 points. I think Miles would have liked to see the effective 6 come in.
Yeah, there's only minutes remaining up to half-time.
Well, there's a little bit of Warren Ryan that's still left over in Canterbury, I can tell you. Well, Terry Madison, a chance to go once again into the record books for the Brisbane Broncos. He's got it high into the air. He's missed it. So goal kicking letting the Broncos down. And they trail by 8 points to 0. So both sides blessed with outstanding goal kickers, and no one so far has been on target.
With a bit under 2 minutes to go, Brisbane still with a chance to post their first points of the match.
So O'Neill.
I'll be tempted to switch O'Neill and Curry in the second half. Tony Curry, a very, very competent fullback, getting plenty of work. He's the fullback. O'Neill, I think, might feel a little bit more comfortable in the centres.
Now Conway. Here's a chance. The pass is astray, and once again they turn over the ball at Canterbury's end of the ground.
Disgraceful play by Brisbane. Conway trying to look for Plowman. He was in the process of jumping a fallen player at the time. The ball went nowhere near him.
David, we talk about what an outstanding support player Terry Lamb is, but I think from memory, on 3 or 4 times they've turned over possession. It's been Lamb who has tidied the ball up for Canterbury at that end of the field as well.
You're right, Fordo. One of the big pluses with Terry Lamb is he follows the ball whether his team's got it or not. And as you say, he's been there a number of times to tidy up for the Bulldogs. He's the experienced player, and even now still pointing out who should take the next ruck.
Well, they're right on halfway, the Bulldogs. We're into the final 30 seconds of the first half, and Lamb driving it deep downfield. O'Neill and Kilroy. It'll be Kilroy who'll pick it up. Takes on the defence and takes it beyond the quarter line. The time is going to beat the Broncos in this first half. As far as getting on the points on the scoreboard is concerned, Plath 32 out. Walters is a dummy half. So we've seen 2 tries scored in the first half. One by Ewan McGrady, the other by Terry Lamb, and it's not unusual to see those 2 names on the score sheet at the end of any Winfield Cup round for Canterbury Bankstown. 2 prolific scorers. Kieran Walters floating the pass for Renouf, the last throw of the dice in the first half for the Broncos. Renouf will be forced to take the tackle. And at half-time, the Bulldogs lead the Broncos at Lang Park by 8 points to 0. We'll be back with more action in the MMI Big Game in just a moment.
Getting ready for the second half of this match. An 8-point deficit for the Broncos at this stage. And David Wright, they want to get their act together a bit in the second half.
Sure will, Bill. They'll need their share of possession because in the first half they were on the deficit side there. They had to do more tackling than the Canterbury Bankstown side. 122 by Brisbane to 108 by Canterbury. Top tackling performances by Gilmeister and Kerrod Walters for Brisbane, and by Gillies and Maguire by Canterbury.
Okay, so there's the kick-off there by Conway. And Fred Dowling is back on the field in the second half, taking the place of Crane. So now it's Canterbury with Patmore there, about 15 metres out from his own line.
3 tackles already by John Platt in the second half.
So the defence is right up on the ball at this stage, keeping Canterbury down inside their own quarter. It's Dean Pay. Here's McGrady. Straight back there to Julian O'Neill. Takes it nicely. Running a crossfield trying to get away from that Canterbury defence, but they're up there to take care of him. Played forward by O'Neill. Up over the halfway mark. Hurt in that tackle.
Probably wished he didn't play it forward, actually, when Dean Pay got a hold of him. And, well, I hope he's... the touch judge has come on, too, to report an illegality. The keenness certainly there of Julian O'Neill, but heavily hit there by Dean Pay and then dumped into the ground. Was it Kyle White who made the tackle? It was. And he's getting a caution. Julian O'Neill getting a little bit of attention, like Eldon Giles, the trainer. He's okay. And Brisbane with a chance to go straight on the attack. Conway to look for touch.
Tony Durkin down on the touchline. What's the story at the half-time break?
The Broncos dressing room very, very disappointed in their first half performance. He says you're beating yourselves with mistakes. He wants Tony Curry and Renoff and Kilroy. He wants them fed more. He wants the ball out wider. He said don't force the pass and you don't have to score on the first tackle. Chris Anderson, conversely, very happy with Canterbury's situation. He felt they dominated the first half. He wants them to kick deep, play the game in Brisbane's territory. But the Canterbury trainer told me that they're feeling the effects of the heat here at Lang Park, Canterbury, so maybe they might tire towards the end.
I'm not surprised, Tony. It's a pretty warm day here today. So Walters comes up at dummy half. They're inside the Canterbury quarter. Back over to Dowling, to Miles. Miles got away from the tackle over there of Patmore. So now, can the Broncos take it on from here? Walters to dummy half. Back over to Madison. Outside to Platt. He's tackled by Terry Lamb. Got it back to Madison, doubling around nicely. Madison going for the break, but has pulled out a few metres out. He'll get up to play it. O'Neill away from dummy half, trying to force his way for that line. He's getting up to it, but he won't be able to get the ball down. He's about a metre short of it. Final tackle. Dummy half Walters. Kicks across field. It's going to be taken back there by Gene Miles. Gino's going to put a little grubber kick into the in-goal area. Davis is back there for Canterbury. Can they get him in that in-goal area? Yes, they can, and down he goes.
Bit of more good luck than good management. Kick across the field by Kieran Walls was a shocker. Gene Miles was fortunate enough to be on the end of it, and then he put in a better kick. And Jonathan Davis not quick enough to get away from Joey Kilroy.
And also, the Broncos continue to struggle against Canterbury Bankstown. It's been one of the bogey sides since they came in 1988. In fact, Canterbury won the first two at Lang Park and Belmore. And the Broncos' only win was against them at Belmore last year as Plowman takes it up. That was 26 points to 8 last year. The Bulldogs have got away to a handy 8-0 lead in this match in 1991. Now, Conway in the middle of the quarter line. They've got an option to go either side now, the Broncos. They will go to the right through Dowling. Platt tried to stand and unload, but it appeared very little pattern out there in attack by Brisbane. Walters darts out of dummy half and milks the penalty.
They still should take the two. Plenty of time to go. They've had 3 shots already unsuccessfully. But at this stage, 2 points, and the crowd don't like it, but Miles is...
he's got no option, David, at this stage, has he?
He really must go for those 2 points. 8-0 deficit. They really do need to grab back the 2.
Conway, 23 metres out, about 15 metres in from touch on the Frank Burke stand of the ground that will host the Origin decider on Wednesday night between New South Wales and Queensland. And what a match that should be. Brisbane, of course, have 8 representatives in the clash on Wednesday. The kick from Conway is off target again. Davis allows it to go dead in goal. Play will come back to the quarter line. And so the goal-kicking woes of Bob Conway. It's amazing what a week can do. Last week, 5 from 5. Today, none from 3. One of the players who will carry a huge responsibility, the Queensland side, and maybe earn a test cap on Wednesday night is Steve Walters of the Canberra Raiders. He's with Tony Durkin touchline.
Yes, Steve, David Fordham just mentioned a test cap just around the corner. Do you think of things like that at this stage?
No, mate, I'm thinking about winning the State of Origin series at the moment, 2-1, and Canberra winning the match today. That's about all at the moment.
Well, good news at half-time anyway from Bruce Stadium, up 4-0.
Yeah, that was great news, you know. It'd certainly be a good day if we can get a win up down there, and well, I shouldn't be hoping it, but I certainly hope the Broncos get a win up. It's a bit hard with Kerrod and Kevin there.
Mate, they haven't been very impressive, have they, the Broncos, so far?
No, not so far. They're missing a few goals and they're probably a little bit flat, but there's a long way to go yet, and I think they've started off the second half a lot better anyway.
And you're ready for Wednesday night?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All the best.
Thanks very much, mate.
He's had a terrific series so far. O'Neill, he's had a pretty confident debut. hit the line very hard on that occasion. The final tackle, Terry Madison puts it in the air. It's out towards Nissan's wing. It's a Brisbane ball. It was touched by Canterbury, but the referee will rule the turnover.
Well, that's amazing. He's ruled there that Brisbane, I think, his other rule, it wasn't at any stage touched by Canterbury. Now, Plathie gets a hold of it, pops it out the back, and then it was definitely touched there by Canterbury. Brisbane get a hold of it again. Eddie Ward saw it the other way. Canterbury now to work their way out again.
So no change to the half-time score. 8 points to 0 in favour of Canterbury Bankstown. 2 tries to 0 in the first 40. Glenn Nissan is a hero in that 88 victory. Scored a fabulous try in that grand final against Balmain. Was knocked around with injuries over the last couple of years. Now Lamb. Fabulous player, Terry Lamb, and he's got the pass away for Maven. In fact, it was for Patmore, and quite correctly, Eddie Ward right on the spot. Right in line with us as well, and he ruled the pass was forward.
Well, that's a critical call by Eddie Ward. Patmore does well here to brush away from Joe Kilroy as he comes back on the inside. Let's have another look at it. Fires the pass up. Oh, gee, nothing in it. Eddie Ward right on the spot to call it. Brisbane fortunate.
So the scrum will back down just inside Canterbury's end of the ground. And 10 minutes of play gone here at Lang Park, and it's still Canterbury with that 8-point lead.
And it'll be Plath coming around the open side, but he's going to be pulled to the ground over there by Gillies.
Brisbane very indecisive. They just seem to be lacking cohesion. They'll just need someone to just take this game by the scruff of the neck.
Here's Tony Curry, a couple of metres inside Canterbury territory. Ran off from dummy half. It's going to be a penalty now to Canterbury.
Curry there trying to play the ball forward, but Eddie Ward signalling, picking the ball up in the ruck. You can play the ball in any direction. Let's have a look at it. Well, he didn't have a marker instantaneously, so Eddie Ward deciding, though, that Smith was on the spot. Cannot pick the ball up in the ruck. Ruck being formed by the 4 feet of the marker and the man playing the ball. And Canterbury now with a chance to go on the attack. The first chance they've had in the second half after 11 minutes.
They lead at this stage by 8 points to 0.
That's significant, Bill. Brisbane have had all the possession in this second half and have done nothing with it.
Well, let's see what Canterbury can do with it. That's Terry Lamb. He in turn gets it away to Gillies. Wrapped up about 30 metres out now from the Broncos line. Taking it up there is Scott Tronk to the quarter. Coming half is Peets. Back to McGrady. Fox darting up the centre. Very elusive, this fella. Peets to dummy half. Terry Lamb. There it goes, up in the air from Lamb. This is a good kick too. Back there in the in-goal area to take it will be Plowman.
Well thought out that. That's on the full Plowman, so he's done well to take it and hang on under pressure. Had he lost the ball here, could have been dangerous. He fumbled for a moment, but he did well. Tapped by Brisbane.
So that's Walters. Lost back behind him. Picked up there by Plath. Plath in turn tackled about 30 metres out from the Broncos line. Gilmeister. Big run by Gilmeister. Back to Miles. Then away to Curry. Curry looking for support. No one at home. Put down just short of the halfway mark.
Plowman asleep.
So back it goes to Plowman this time. He cuts back inside. Got away from Maven's tackle. Can't get away from McCracken, however. Here at Walters. Madison outside to Conway. Conway up the centre, still going is Conway. Dummies beautifully. He's got Plath outside. He's still going, though. It's going to be pulled out about 15 metres out. Good run by Conway. So here's the Broncos on the go. This is Gene Miles. He gets it away outside to Gilmeister. Bumped into the post. Is in for the try, but gee, he really hit that upright.
Wow, it's hard enough beating the opposition, let alone the post. Just as well it was wrapped in the 4X padding there. Gillies come charging onto a ball from Gene Miles. He is okay. The axe.
How's the goalpost, though?
He's almost cut down the goalpost. Now let's have another look at it. Great run by Conway to get it to there. Didn't throw a silly pass. Miles searches his way through some straggling defenders. Gilmeister into the gap. Brushes off one. Spins around. Oh, just as well that was padded. Hit the 4th X. X marks the spot. He saw 4 of them. Let's have a look at it. There's Miles again. Straight on. Good straight running by Gilmeister. Rushes away from Lamb and the goalpost. Gilly wasn't going to let it go. That's Broncos hitting back.
Yeah, and it was needed. Man of the match against Cronulla last week, and he's making a habit of scoring tries. He scored one against the Sharks last week. It And a rebound off the post gives him another one against the Bulldogs.
And it doesn't get better as it goes on. The old Melons are in about a bad shape.
He got hit by Mr. Forex.
So now we'll see the kick from Conway. He's got to get this one, surely. He sure does. So it's 8 points to 6 now. Canterbury leading the Broncos here at Lang Park.
Well, they've got great support at Lang Park because there is an interstate rugby match on the road, up the road at Ballymore today, which would take a few away from Lang Park, but a crowd of just under 19,000 here. Fabulous support, and they're starting to rise as the Broncos go on the boil. It's Conway, and Platt was taken out, I thought, without the football. And referee Eddie Ward agrees.
Well, let's have a look. It's certainly the ruling he's given, but I thought Platt was under pressure with this pass from Conway. That looked okay to me, actually. Brisbane got the penalty, though. There'll be a few complaints coming from Canterbury. Patmore it was. It came in with a big tackle. Conway had popped the pass up.
He was committed in defence, in all fairness, David, wasn't he?
Yes, I think he was. And Eddie Ward taking up the position in midfield at the time. Slightly unsighted. The crowd certainly gave all indications, and Johnny Platt still getting attention.
Well, a chance to draw level. They've trailed right throughout this football match. From the moment that McGrady went over for the first try, Lamb compounded Brisbane's problems with another try. As the Canterbury bench looks on, only one successful kick from 7 attempts on either side of the field today. Here's Conway. He struck it well. Up go the flags. And it's all tied up here after 18 minutes of the second half. David, how many times have Brisbane given side start in 91 and got out of jail?
Yes, they've done it a few times. They're going to need to do it again today. They've done well so far in the second half to come back at 8-all. They just seem to be playing with a little bit more determination now. Canterbury starting to fire up as well to try and stop the rot.
Now Kilroy, well, Canterbury certainly dominated the possession in the first half. That picture tells the story. 31 possessions to Canterbury's 17. And David, that's allowed them to claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, almost 2-1 possessions. You can add these few and you've got a better than 2-1. Gilmeister having a very good game. I said before, Brisbane, great attacking side. And they're allowed to use the ball and still run in some pretty big scores. There's the fifth tackle.
And we'll be back now with Conway. The kick angling towards touch. Steve Maven allows the ball to bounce inside his own quarter line. Will run across field trying to link up with Davis, but finally took the tackle of Gilmeister.
Steve Maven seems to have lost just a bit of pace. He was always a big man and seems to even be a bit bigger this year. Switched from South Sydney. Maybe his job on the wing, but certainly lacks a little bit of dash.
And he's pulled up lame from that tackle as well. So 32 out from their own goal line, the Bulldogs. It's 8-all here at Lang Park, and a penalty.
Well, Eddie Ward being rather pedantic here as Gene Miles tries to step away from the marker position. I don't think he interfered in any way at all, did Gene Miles there. The play the ball was a poor one. Eddie Ward finds a penalty and the Bulldogs a chance.
And Maven still receiving attention over on this McCullough stand. He's slowly getting to his feet now. And he's hobbling quite noticeably, isn't he?
Maybe I was a bit unfair on him, Fordo. Maybe he did carry a slight injury into the match. Certainly his leg giving him quite a bit of trouble now.
He's trying to run it out, and he appears that he may be okay, but we're at the halfway mark of this second half, and the ball game is locked up at 8 apiece.
And it's Canterbury in possession, about 10 metres inside the Broncos' half of the field. Lamb, McCracken, trying to look for support inside, but there's no one at home on that occasion. Conk. Oh, intercepted this time by Madison. Madison thrown to the ground about 5 metres short of halfway.
One of the smallest blokes in the Broncos side, but still had the strength and skill to get through in a lot of traffic. Gene Miles onto a great pass, went through, held off Ewan McGrady, got almost to the try line, spun around, found Renoff. Renoff in a very, very tight blind side. Madison fires the pass up. Gene Miles the step. We saw him do it last week. He's done it again. Maguire didn't know what to do. Now, Ewan McGrady was held off there. Miles kept running forward. That was important. And then Renoff does extremely well. Nissen there to try and knock him in a touch. So was Davis, but he still got down just in the corner. The touch judge was there right on the spot. We'll have a look at Miles again. He does his best work out wide. One-on-one, still almost impossible to stop. Gene Miles then confronted with a cover defender about half his size, held him off and also kept progressing forward. Created a half a chance, not even that for Renoff, and he made it a try.
2 from 5 is the figure there for Conway today. Notice Scott Tronk leaving the field for Canterbury. So Tronk, or rather Conway. There's Tronk. On his way in now. Let's have a look at this one. Waved away. Well away, actually. So the score remains the Broncos leading by 12 points to 8. Tronk's replacement player out there, Tony?
Is Troy Castle from the reserve grade in jersey number 23, Bill.
Thank you. So Broncos in possession just on the quarter line. Back over to Dowling. Well, they've certainly got it together in the second half, David.
Very much so, Bill. Intercept by Madison, of course, was very, very important. Canterbury had got a penalty and could have well gone on the attack themselves. Madison turned it around, and Brisbane good enough to capitalise.
So this is Dowling. 5 metres short of the halfway mark.
Now, blindside, Platt. It's been touched. Gilmeister scooped it back. Now Conway straightens up play.
Not 4-6 to go by Eddie Ward.
It'll be a turnover. Now, important here for Brisbane to try and keep Canterbury pegged down on their line.
And the way to do it is not to give away penalties. It'll take a good side to ruck your way out of here. You don't just allow them. Well, there's a good player.
Like that. Terrific play by McCracken. The match winner for the Broncos.
That's nailed on. Kerrod Waller's out of the dummy half position. Took the opportunity. He has run a couple of times from inside his own territory today. He only had to make 5 metres. He knew exactly what he was doing. Ran, stepped, and then surged forward under the sticks. Miles tries to go left. There, Kerrod Walters dashes out of the right. The step was so important. That created the opportunity just close enough to the try line. The upright was also under threat for a moment. Kerrod Walters steps the tackle from Simon Gillies and then reaches out to score it. Eddie Ward on the spot. Brisbane extend their lead, 16-8.
Yeah, he was very keen to get that ball from the dummy half spot and get moving, and he's in for the try, and that gives the Broncos a good break now, 16 points to 8.
Bobby Conway, 2 from 6. He makes it 3 from 7, and the Broncos lead by 10 points here at Lang Park. Once again, McGrady will restart play, driving it deep. Plath will receive it from the kick-off and will feed Kilroy. And the crowd come to their feet again as Joey takes it out to the quarter line. Brett LeMan is on the field for Bob Conway.
And McGrady. Doubling around McGrady. Can't get away from Gene Miles. Second tackle. Penalty coming in.
Brett LeMan was the man in there late. 10-point deficit, I should say. Canterbury most likely will go for touch because of that.
Jerry Lamb finding it. 23 metres out now from the Broncos line.
Brisbane being told to get back the 10.
Over it comes to Maven. He's wrapped up just inside the Broncos quarter. So let's see what they do now. Lamb getting it away to McGrady. Outside to Davis. Davis out of one tackle. Can't get away from the next one, though. Well wrapped up over there by Gene Miles.
His jumper's nearly still the same colour as his legs, Bill.
So here's Canterbury putting on some pressure now as it goes back to Terry Lamb. Outside this time to White. Couple of metres out. Back to McGrady. He dummies. Cuts back inside. Now gets a pass away. That's going to be a try. Yes, it is.
Brilliant try there by Darren Smith. Once again, Ewan McGrady, the pace of the man creates the opportunity because it caused a little bit of consternation in the defensive line, and then Smith on the spot to surge onto the pass, held up beautifully by Ewan McGrady. Let's have a look at it. the footwork there. It is held up to perfection. Got into a little bit of traffic, and then Smith does well to juggle and carry it forward. They're back in the match, Canterbury Bankstown, and from head on you'll see what McGrady can do. Stop, start, and then go again. Darren Smith does well to hold it and get it down.
So now we'll wait for Davis to attempt to convert the try. Didn't see much of him, David.
He has been quiet from the back. There's two players who've played their part today, Bob Conway and Greg Dowling. Davis has been quiet from the back and could well get himself involved more.
So now let's see whether he can get the extra 2 points. Kick is on its way. It's there. So it's 18 points to 14. The Broncos leading at Lang Park. Another change for Canterbury, Tony.
Yes, Geordie Peete, the Canterbury hooker, is off, replaced by number 22, Sean Skelton.
Okay. So now that's Skelton coming up as dummy half, as a matter of fact. Shire. There he goes again. Final tackle to Lamb. Now the kick downfield from the 5'8". It's not a bad one. It'll go right back into the in-goal area. O'Neill is back there. He makes it out of the in-goal. Put down a couple of metres away from his own line. So away from dummy half is Plowman. He's kind of bustling his way through again. Dummy half Walters. Over to Hone. Dummy half Walters again. Tessman.
Eddie Ward wants it in again.
18 points to 14. Jonathan Davis has crept up into the line and attack. The line deep. McGrady showed it to Davis, got it to Patmore, and Renoff and Curry combined in the tackle. Renoff and O'Neill it was, and O'Neill was slow, so they're without a fullback at the moment, Brisbane, as O'Neill retreats to get back into position. Now McGrady. The wrap around with Lamb. That's a beautiful pass for Smith.
Tackle Julian O'Neill. He's hurt.
Now they move it again, McGrady. Darting and weaving. Platt wrapped him up and then bulldogged him to the ground. 15 out. Canterbury on attack. Skelton away for Lamb. That's Castle. Just brushed away the defence. McGrady tidied up by Gene Miles. So a bit of luck for Brisbane.
Well, we gave raps to Terry Lamb, the captain of Canterbury, for his on-the-spot efforts. And here's Gene Miles. He was on the spot to grab that pass in from Ewan McGrady. But Brisbane still under pressure deep inside their own territory.
National. Patmore. So Canterbury have just a couple of minutes to try and pull this game out of the fire. They led by 8-0 at half-time. They now trail 18 to 14. This game far from over, though. Lamb. That's a good break by White. And Platt's defence was equal to the task.
Johnny Platt's playing as sweeper, and they'll need that.
Now McGrady through the dummy. Back for Castle. Turned and back Lamb. Great play by Lamb for Maven. He's done little in the match, but he's come up with a try that has probably given the Canterbury Bulldogs victory here at Lang Park.
They've snatched it with a minute to go. They've got to kick the goal, of course. It's now 18-all with the kick to come. Beautiful work up midfield. Once again, Ewan McGrady turning the ball back on the inside. Terry Lamb, the backup merchant, was there as well. There's Ewan McGrady. Turns the ball back on the inside. Castle was there as well. Then Terry Lamb. Look at him hold this one up nicely. Took Miles out of play. Maven on the spot. And Maven, who'd done little today, just had enough strength. He's on there for his power. Breaks out of a couple of tackles and goes in under the sticks. Once again, McGrady sparks it all. Back up the middle of the ruck. Brisbane, a little bit 6s and 7s. Platt was caught in the line this time because he had to make a covering tackle a little while earlier. And Maven goes in right beside the sticks. It should be a simple matter for 2 points.
This kick could assure them of 13 points on the Winfield Cup ladder. Jonathan Davis with his second success of the afternoon. He's kicked 2 from 4. And the Bulldogs lead the Broncos by 20 points to 18.
Brisbane have gone to sleep, and it's going to be costly.
I made the comment that they're never dead with players like Lamb and McGrady on the field, and they rose to the occasion for Canterbury then. Now, you'll see Terry Lamb, he'll use this clock as well as he can. There'll be no urgency here from Canterbury.
I don't know why Brisbane didn't kick short from that kick-off and try and regain, because there can only be seconds remaining in the match.
It's all over. They led by 8-0 at half-time. They trailed at one stage by 18 points to 8. They have come back, the Bulldogs, and picked up 2 vital premiership points. It's a tough loss for the Broncos. They've got the job ahead of them now in the remaining games in the round. They have been defeated here today by the Bulldogs by 20 points to 18.
Winners by 20 points to 18. Tries McGrady, Lamb, Smith and Maven. Davis 2 from 4. For Brisbane, Gilmeister, Renoff and Walters tries. Conway 3 from 7. Madison none from 1. Man of the Match award coming up right now. Let's see firstly what do we have in store for our winner tonight.
The MMI Man of the Match award is proudly brought to you in association with Todd's Hi-Fi of Tingalpa. Tonight's winner will receive the latest in compact disc technology, a Yamaha Multi-5 compact disc player.
And with me a very proud and pleased Canterbury captain, Terry Lamb. And Terry, it looked like when they got back to 18-8 that they might have had it sewn up.
Yeah, well, you know, we had our heads down behind the goalpost, and they really came back well, like Brisbane does. And we stuck to our guns, kicked downfield, and our defence was good, and we made the breaks.
Mate, you did seem to go to sleep there early in that second half, though.
Yeah, we've done it probably, you could say every match this year. We go to sleep at 5-minute, 10-minute period, where good teams don't do that, and we'll have to figure that out of training.
Well, you're a good team because you're now in the 5, equal there with a couple of teams, so things looking pretty good.
Yeah, we're ahead of schedule now, so we've got to win the next, hopefully 2 out of the next 3 games to get in the top 3.
Well, ahead of schedule, today you picked up a compact display, but I believe you've just bought one. I'm sure Todd's Hi-Fi can look after you with something else.
I appreciate that, and thank you very much to Todd's Hi-Fi. Thank you.
For the very best advice in sound and vision, remember, talk to Todd's Hi-Fi of Tingalpa. The Man of the Match award was proudly brought to you in association with MMI.
Another of the big matches today in the Winfield Cup, of course, was down at Bruce Stadium in Canberra. It was Canberra up against Penrith. Let's have a look now at some of those highlights with Graham Hughes.
Crowd calling for something to be done about the tackle too from Bradley. Midfield bomb falling down near the in goal. Coming down from Mackay, it's spilled. I just wonder now. I think a player has been sent off. Darren too has been marched. I didn't see any call for the sin bin. Right next to the post, Belcher drives it through, and he gets the Raiders off to a nice start. 2-0 over Penrith. Gregory to the back line. Little chip ahead for Bell. Perfect. He's got support. Gregory's there again. He goes even further. Well, the try was bombed.
When you consider that there's only a total of 6 players from last year's grand final out there in the paddock, the standard of the football is still very, very high.
Stone breaks the line. Looking back inside, Croker's there. He couldn't get it to him. The Penrith players got between them. Quick play the ball here. Penrith in trouble. Belcher to go wide. McNeil was offside easily. The advantage played from Parnaby. Wood with the ball to Bell. Bell looking for support inside. Paul Martin, that's a super try. Excellent play on the MMI replay. Taking men out of the attack. Twig kept his cool. Then waited to pass out beautifully for Wood. Wood made sure that Carter was committed. Bell made sure that 2 were committed to him. Martin had the free run. No doubt about it, a super try. Gregory showed it inside, then out to Twig. Twig breaks the line. Here comes Wood. Wood up the middle, stepping. Wood for the post. Under the black dot. Barnaby's been bowled over. Second chance down the other end on the MMI replay since the break. Twig into the gap. Just look at the way.
St George 10-2 Illawarra yesterday. Other matches today, South 22, Parramatta 14. Newcastle a close one over Manly 9-8. The match we've just seen highlights of, Canberra too good for Penrith 20-0. Norths 19 defeating Cronulla 10. And Balmain get their second win of the year. They defeated the Gold Coast by 14 points to 6. The Winfield Cup points table stands as follows, and North Sydney are back in the lead here. They're up there on 18 points, followed by Penrith on 17. West and Manly together 14. Illawarra and Canterbury, and also East on 13. Canberra on 12, St George and Newcastle 11, Brisbane and South together on 10, Cronulla 6, Gold Coast and Balmain on 5 and Parramatta on 4. Now let's tell you about what's coming up rugby league-wise here on Brisbane 10. Of course, later tonight, after the movie at 11 o'clock, we'll have Late Night League, an extended interview with Tim Sheens, the New South Wales State of Origin coach, all the highlights of the weekend's rugby league fixtures, so that's tonight at 11 o'clock. Now, next week, we've got plenty of action for you on Friday night. It's Friday night football, of course, for Nissan. That's from the Belmore Sports Ground. Canterbury winners today will take on North. Should be a good match. You'll get that game at 8:30 on Friday night. Saturday night, we're off to the Gold Coast, and the Gold Coast will be in action down there against Cronulla for Saturday night league. And that match, of course, coming to you at 8:30. And then on